welcome to the Tapped Out Podcast Network. I'm Nick McDaniel, and we're here at the Tapped In Podcast, and as you don't readjust your sets or anything, folks, yeah, it's our first ever three-man booth as I'm joined by Rosario, Grillo, Jack Jameson. We're loaded, man.
We're a three-man band. One of my favorite, big kite teams of all time. I thought those guys were the best. I've recently saw on Twitter somebody said Fred House versus 3MB would feed generations, and I agree.
Ooh, I think we would pay buco bucks to see that match.
Right? I'm pretty sure they were being sarcastic, but I would love it.
Even if they were, screw it. We're going to give them what they want or what they don't want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, we're going to try this. I joked about this off the air, and I'm like, hey, bear with us if it's a train wreck, folks. It's our first shot at it. We promise we'll do better next time, but I think we're going to do just fine, by the way. And then, look, before we get started, we're always, every single episode, have to remind you, best value in indie wrestling, in our opinion, patreon.com/tappedoutpod. I mean, literally, you're going to get show notes at the dollar level. But, we joke about it all the time. There's a free level, too. There's a bunch of stuff you get for free just by signing up there, and you get it all. That dollar level, you get absolutely, like we tell you, you get the show notes. The $5 level, you're going to get the weekly stuff. You get that early. The $10 level, you're going to get everything we do early, and as well as the digital collectibles. But then at that $25 level, you get the physical 8.5 by 11 autographed by some indie / national / whatever, because you never know with who we do it with. Got a big one this month, and I'm excited to get that one. Exactly. It is a super special one, and would you agree, Rosario, Grillo? I mean, that's got to be a big one this month.
I heard this one's a big month. I heard next month is somehow even bigger. And
next month is huge. It's one in a billion, maybe.
I'm signed up. I'm a subscriber on the Patreon. I don't know how many times I got to say it when I come on, but like you said, there's a free level, there's a dollar level, all the way up to 25. Just do it. You spend money on worse every day. This is the best.
Hey,
fellow Patreon member here as well.
Stop buying those Starbucks coffees and all that kind of stuff and sign up and get your value 100%, man. That's what I tell them, but what do I know? I just work here.
That's right. Starbucks isn't even good anyways.
See, this is why you brought these two on right here, Jameson and myself, because we already know we're going great together. Starbucks, get it out of here.
I agree.
That's right. Me and Grillo work real well together, as a matter of fact.
Real well.
Well, we're going to find out here because we're about to hit the pedal to the metal, man, because you know what time it is as we get into there. It is time to Indy Rewind this thing and look at all of the shows that happened this past week. It was a pretty good loaded card. It was top to bottom, man. Let's jump right into it. Friday, Action Wrestling had a big show at the Lion Creek Brewing Bus Barn. Got that one on the first take. I knew I was going to butcher that one. Lots of stuff going on, but let's jump to it. Somebody you guys know well, Lee Johnson, was in the house over at the Action Wrestling show.
Big shotty.
He picked up a big win over Darian Bingston. Darian Bingston, is in the title mix there. So, again, for Lee Johnson just to come walking in, it may not be the last time we see him at Action Wrestling. Would you agree?
I would imagine so, man. Swirl's taking over right now. They're all over Ring of Honor. They just did a AEW episode, which was pretty good. If you haven't checked that out, those guys are entertaining. They're great in the ring. Yeah, absolutely. Any company should be bringing in Lee Johnson. As you know, we always see him around one fall from time to time. So smart move on Action's part.
I agree.
Without a doubt.
Jameson Shook. He did pick up a big win over the Action World Champion Tim Bosby by disqualification.
Jameson Shook, right?
Yeah, Jameson shook, but he picked up a big win over Tim Bosby by DQ. Assuming that's going to set up something down the line, obviously at one of the later shows he'll get an opportunity having a big win, but not before we get to the next one, because the next one this is kind of why I thought the Lee Johnson thing was a kind of a surprise. At the next show, December 5th, Bangers Only 6, Darian Bingston gets one final opportunity at the Action World title against the Tim Bosby, like we talked about. Bosby's been on a run. How familiar, Grillo, are you with Tim Bosby, or have you met him? Because we talked a lot about him here on the show.
Honestly, only from what you and I have talked about. I think I've watched a match or two the first time you had brought him up to me. I'm actually more familiar with Darian Banks than myself. I've known Darian since I started wrestling. I think he is one of the best in Georgia, one of the most underrated. He's always coming up with some of the most unique stuff. And if you watch the earlier stuff I did with TSF, T's and P's, he was really helpful with that and like helping us find our stride and some of our tag moves.
I think
Darian helped a lot of people at the factory kind of figure out some moves and spots. He was always working with everybody in the ring, trying to help people any way he could. He was always really helpful to everybody.
And I think he's, it's kind of cool to see somebody like who's been there a long time, helping, now kind of get their moment in the spotlight and hopefully an opportunity. And I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. I've seen him, quite a few times. Darian Binkson, I would not be surprised if he picks up a huge win over Tim Bosby. Some people would call it an upset. I don't know about all that. You might be looking at Darian Binkson as the next Action World Heavyweight Champion. We're going to find out, obviously, on December 5th at Bangers Only 6. If you did miss the show, by the way, it is available already on IWTV. So go ahead and check them out, catch up with them. It was a great show from everything that I heard and saw. Also on Friday, Watkinsville, Georgia. You guys know, both of you were there in the house. One Fall run, their Friday show. You're in Watkinsville a couple times a month, and I think it's a crazy thing that you are still, One Fall was watched every single time they're there. They're pretty consistent packing the house, whether it's a Friday or a Monday, which is kind of cool to me that a promotion's running on a Monday and drawing as well. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but on the Friday show, look, let's get into some of the stuff that I know you guys probably want to talk about. Cartelo Grillo, you and your team absolutely picked up a big win there, man. I'll let you directly speak to what happened.
It was a huge win, and if you've paid attention to anything One Fall's been doing, that's all we've been doing since we got together is win and win and win. I found a capo in KJ Impala. That kid's a beast, takes anyone's head off with just one clothesline. We got Il Bambino, Hayden Seal. He's coming along. We're still trying to get him into the mix. And then the one and only Mr. Jason Esquire. I mean, how could you do this without having a guy like him?
Jack Jameson, I mean, look, throw your input. I know you're firsthand. You're getting to watch them, a lot of times from right there behind the curtain. What do we expect from
these guys,
Grillo?
Like the boss, the Don here, Mr. Rosario Grillo said, they're an undefeated team here in One Fall. They've been unstoppable since Grillo put them together. He had Esquire. KJ debuted with them in Watkinsville, I believe.
Yep.
And when he came out, that crowd, they were not happy. That was that was a big moment in One Fall history. They were pretty upset. He got told off pretty good, and then they've been unstoppable ever since. They're picking up wins. They got another match coming up this weekend. They'll be in another trios match coming up. I believe Hayden won't be there, so it'll be Grillo, Esquire, and KJ. Look for more of the same. They got some tools and weapons that they like to bring out, and they play their games. Whoa.
Well, tools and weapons. Just accessories.
I mean, in KJ and Esquire, those are the tools and weapons that Grillo's bringing to the ring. Yeah, of course. And then they bring cannolis. I was gifted a cannoli personally from Grillo, so that was a big moment for me, to be honest.
Well, big moments for you. We're not going to give away something that happened later in the weekend. I like to save that stuff for later on, and we'll get into some of that a little bit. But you yourself actually had a win. You picked up a big win over Michael Solar. Listen, a lot of people would say, like, why, a win over Michael Solar, why is it a big win? The kid's talented. He's very entertaining. And I hate to say this, he's almost in Watkinsville. Seems like he's got home field advantage because the crowd there absolutely loves him.
Not just the crowd in Watkinsville. Honestly, everywhere we go, Solar is, he's one of our top baby faces. He's just, the fans love him. He makes that personal connection with them. He goes around, after his matches, he'll go out there and talk to the fans. He'll watch the show with the fans. Before the show, he'll hang out with the fans, talk to the fans. He just likes the people, and they like him back. And, he works really hard, and he gives it all in the ring. But, at the end of the day, standing across from a real man, not going to be able to get the job done. But other times he does, he does well for himself in the ring. It's just not when he's standing across from me.
Well, that was true on this night on Friday. This Friday at Watkinsville, that was the case. Speaking of real dudes, man, Drago, Shoop 1-on-1. Drago picked up a massive win over Tyler Shoop. Look, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here talking about it, I guess, but we're going to. Drago is a dude. Like, he is an absolute stud, and you're starting to see him all over Georgia, and he's making some impacts, and we're going to discuss him next week on one of the shows because he's got a huge opportunity down in Augusta. But Shoot versus Drago, that's a match that we may see more and more down the road.
Yeah, Drago is a Clydesdale of a human being. He is just a massive man. His legs are about as thick as my torso. It's insane. So I'm pretty happy. It's already been announced that he is my tag team partner coming up soon. I've teamed with him a few times. That's my guy, 6'4", 260, Ukrainian-born Thriller, baby.
He is quite literally the definition of the word unit. Like, you just look at him, you're like, oh, is that the biggest guy I've ever seen? And the crazy, scary part is, not only is he so jacked, he's insanely athletic, too.
Mm-hmm.
Which
he's
is
out there flipping and doing all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely insane to see.
Nuts.
Also on the card, Angelica Risk, Joya Blake, they pick up the win over Riley Judah and Hyena Hera. Seemed like a little miscommunication. They got a big win as well. We're going to discuss one of those young ladies here shortly down when we get to later into the show, so we're going to save that part. QT Marshall, big win. Debut of Mantasy, Parker Lee and Sebastian Blaze, as they picked up a win over Christian Taylor and JD Inc. Watch out for Mantasy. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of interesting stuff. And we're not done, by the way. We're going to come back and talk about these two teams as well a little bit down the road. And then the main event of the night, Brady Bicker, he picked up a win over Brady Pierce. He is still obviously your one fall wrestling championship. That's of particular interest to one Jack Jameson right now, and that's a little bit down the road again. We'll be talking about that. Great show. Everything was super duper. We had a great time up there. If you're in the Athens/Watkinsville area, multiple opportunities a month to check out one fall, whether it's in Athens or in Watkinsville a couple times a month. If you haven't, catch them on Peachtree TV every Tuesday, 8 p.m., Triller TV Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. They've got a big show coming up Friday, and we'll get into that a little bit. I know you wanted to talk about that a little bit, so we are going to come back to that here shortly. Also on Friday at the Royston Dome, Squared Circle Action, they had a big show. Total Chaos is, Richard Page. He's got Greatness Inc. Lots of chaos going on up there. But here, Hunter James, they went one-on-one with Nick Halen. I know you're familiar with both of those guys, Grillo. It ended in a DQ. Scott Mason got involved, led to a tag match later in the show with Hunter James and Stevie Ray Frost versus Scott Mason and Nick Halen. But listen, I don't know what the future holds. Two of the best guys in Georgia. A lot of people say Hunter James and Nick Halen. We've seen them wrestle time and time again, put on a great match every single show. But anytime Richard Page is even circling the atmosphere or orbiting the situation, you never know what's going to happen. And that's just kind of, something to keep an eye out. Luke De Silva, he's the champion up there. Lots of stuff going on with him as well. Make sure you're checking. They're there every Friday, folks. If you're worried about catching an SCA show, right up to Royston every Friday night. It seems like without fail. We are going into the holiday season, so there will be some shows. So make sure you're following them on social media. But they're on YouTube as well. Their next show's Friday because they run every single Friday. Let's jump to Saturday. BullPen Pro Wrestling. They ran in Ranford, Alabama. They kind of hopped over the Alabama line. Some guys you're familiar with. The Wonder Boys defeated Zach Buchanan, Ryan Wendell, and Trey Jordan. Big win for those two young guys. JT Paradox, match of the night from everything I've been told, successfully defended in an open challenge his TV title. Again, something we'll probably talk about here shortly. Xavier Cross, you've come across him now a couple of times over there at Southern Fried, not facing him, but seeing him in person. Is that dude not way bigger than you actually thought when you saw him on video?
Yeah, man, it's one of those optical illusions. It's just like, oh, whoa, what, how?
Yeah, it's bananas as how big he was. The first time I saw him, he stepped face to face with Judias, and I went, wait, what? Like, he's literally like the same. And I was like, you don't see that kind of stuff coming. But look, the big story coming out of BullPen, by the way, it's the war for control of the company. Since Bull lost control of the company, It's been an absolute, chaotic situation. He's trying to get back in, but a massive match was made for the December 6th show. It's the Olin James Memorial Show. Sunset Sam McGraw is going to take on Shane Knowles. If Sunset wins, Bull gets his company back. If Shane wins, then he's still in control. It is kind of what it is. Damon Showtime Thomas, there had been rumors he was coming back for a long time. He finally made his return as well. Called out Zach Buchanan. Look, Zach Buchanan's a stud. I don't know if you guys I know you've come across him, Grillo.
He's been at one fall before he did a Battle Royal.
Yeah, pedigree. His dad was a WWE guy. His brother is currently in NXT. So obviously the pedigree's there. And the crazy thing is, he might be more athletic even than his brother, which is kind of bananas to say. So, but over in BullPen, turned his back on his dad. He's gonna.
Oh snap!
Yeah, he wants to do things his way. He doesn't want to be told what to do by his dad. He doesn't want to, follow in daddy's footsteps. He wants to be his own man. There's a part of you that kind of commends that, but that doesn't mean you have to put the knife in dad's back to do it, right? That's a kind
of man. Like I get it. Like you gotta break off and do your own thing, but you don't gotta, stab your dad in the back trying to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the best guy, but even I wouldn't do that.
Even you have a line, is what you're saying.
Yeah, jeez.
That guy, Grillo, probably would.
Whoa, family first, man. You know nothing about Italians.
Not Father Grillo. Papa Grillo.
Hey, sometimes you got to knock the dude off just to get him out of the picture. I watched enough mob movies. Come on now. Let's jump not Grillo. He would never do such a thing. Let's jump ahead to WrestleMerica down in Forsyth, Georgia. They had a big show. It was headlined by a very unique 4-way match where the WrestleMerica title and the Liberty title were on the time. They were literally defended in the same match, where the first fall was for the WrestleMerica title, the second fall was for the Liberty Championship. However, Bryce Cannon retained his Liberty title. KJ, he retained as well. He is still the WrestleMerica champion. So absolutely. Christian Taylor, another young guy that you guys are familiar with, he picked up a big win. Dominic Stuckey defeated Pat Roach. Thumbs down for him. Hunter James picked up a big win over Alexander Lev, by the way. So lots of stuff going on over there. They are heading into their big show as well, coming up on December 13th. They already announced, man, it's a winner-take-all match. The Backbone will take on the Blue Chippers. They've got a fan Christmas wrapping paper match. If you haven't seen one of these, I've actually seen one once. They'll be there. The fans get to hit the wrestlers with the wrapping paper, the rolls, if they come out of the ring. Kind of like a lumberjack match, but it's with the wrapping paper rolls.
Those things hurt.
Great.
They do.
That's fun.
Make sure you're.
That's fun for the fans, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes. But other big match on the card, the Liberty Championship will be on the line as Bryce Cannon. He defends against Dominic Stuckey. Dominic Stuckey only needs to win that Liberty title to become a Grand Slam champion there at WrestleMerica. So obviously it's a huge opportunity for him. Follow them on YouTube. Follow them on social media. December 13th. That's their big Christmas show, obviously. So make sure you're giving them a follow. Nerd U Championship Wrestling, they ran in Cornelia. Lots of guys you guys are familiar with, by the way. Dawson Walker picked up a win over Big Bad Brando on the card. Chris Del Rey retained. One of the unique things about this show, I want to pause there for a second. They had a lot of like the GWF Mid-Georgia Championship all the way down from Middle Georgia. Chris Del Rey came up and defended that title on that show successfully as well. But I wanted specifically two guys I know you're both from Interim. I'm going to start with you, Grillo. Dennis Glass, has been trying to advance and fight his way up the ladder there, and absolutely does, as he defeats Trevor Blackwell in a 2 out of 3 falls match and won his way into the Deadpool match, which is later in the main event or whatever. But two guys you're familiar with, opportunity there. Dennis Glass kind of pushing himself to the next level.
Yeah, I love Dennis. I think he's very talented. I've got to see him grow as a wrestler by doing all these one-fall shows. He's gotten better each show. And to beat someone like Trevor Blackwell, who's been around for a while, he's obviously a mainstay here at One Fall, but he's someone who I also met when I first started. And from here to North Carolina, him and I were wrestling each other every weekend, whether it was tag, singles, or six-man. And if there's someone to help Dennis get better, it would have been Trevor Blackwell to be in the ring with him and to get 2 falls on him in one match. That's huge as well.
Jameson, I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, Dennis Glass has a lot of potential. He gets a lot of reactions, whether it's one way or the other at one fall. Big win, because I think a lot of people, would you say, underappreciate one Trevor Blackwell across the state of Georgia?
Yeah, for sure, man. Me and Trevor started together at the One Fall Power Factory. We were the last camp there before it became the Nightmare Factory. So he's always got like a little special spot for me. That's my guy right there, the day one, Trevor Blackwell. So he's great with everybody in the ring whenever he gets in there, whether he's being nice to everybody or being a jerk. He's got it going on one way or another. He's got it figured out. He's over at GPW. He's been running those shows for a while, so he knows everything about the business inside and out. Seems like he's got that down. Dennis Glass, he is a frat house pledged. Actually, he's helped us more than once on occasion. I'm a big fan of Dennis. He is, well, not to get too far ahead, but at the TV taping recently, he was hit in the head with a helmet. He's currently experiencing some issues. He's not sure. He seems to have forgotten his name. It's Holden now, according to him, although it is Dennis. I don't know what's going on there. Seems to have something, but that seems like it's going to be something that comes into play moving forward for him. But I am a big fan of Dennis. He's a good guy. He works really, really hard. Setups the ring before and after. He's always the first to get in there and do anything. You don't even have to ask him. He's great to have on anybody's show. I think he's a real improvement. Everybody should try and book Dennis Glass, and he needs to get out there more, and that would help him out a lot. And he'll help your shows too.
And like I said, that's why it was really cool to see him get an opportunity up here, and then for him to make the most of that opportunity to kind of fight his way into one of the main event situations here at Nerd U. Also, Matthew Westlake, he called out Crystal Rose. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what went down at their last show. They had a ladder match for the title. They kind of didn't get into a lot of it, like what the rules were. Crystal Rose was the referee of the match, but she climbed the ladder as both men were down, cashed in, and she became the Nerd U champion. So Matt Westlake called her out. She responded. Nice little belt shot to the face for his troubles. But then she presented herself. Basically, she is now the Nerd U women's champion. She did basically pass over, but she was immediately attacked by her sister. What's going on with families? Like, we got to figure this out in Georgia. Candy Moss, and then she's challenged her to be the first one to challenge her for that women's championship. King of the North Georgia match, CT Keys, Nick Halen, again, very much somebody, you guys are with it. After an interference from Bobby Popham, total, fallout. I think there's more to this story. We're going to get to that down the road. Lots of other stuff. The Deadpool match, it was to crown the now, literally from the earlier when Crystal Rose handed over the vacant Nerd U championship. Chris Del Rey defeated Tower, Matthew Mercer, Dennis Glass, Jason Esquire. And after the chaos of everything, Del Rey pinning Tower to win the title, but then he was ambushed by Jamie Holmes. There was a lot of stuff with the contract that people aren't understand. Jason Esquire, this is why this guy's aligned with Grillo. This is why you brought him in. He then Esquire revealed that he had now actually taken control of the company because of the clauses in the contract that Matt Westlake did not understand the way it worked. And then so he is now running the company, and he has booked what's being called the Grizzly Experience match. It's a dog collar ladder match for the next show with Jamie Holmes involved. Again, I know it's somebody you guys are aware. The scariest thing I can think of is Jamie Holmes on a ladder with a dog collar on.
That's nightmare.
Big fan of Jamie Holmes.
Yes. They're going to be back. Again, it's actually going to be, because they run every couple months. They'll be back in 2026, January the 3rd, there in Cornelia. Check out Nerd U. And by the way, available on YouTube as well. I'm going to come to the TV taping at the end. I'm going to jump a little bit out of order in the show notes. Kraken Pro Wrestling, they ran on Sunday in Tifton as well. Aaron Black picked up a win. One of the big stories coming out, Nathaniel Vanderbilt, he defeated J2 Strong, Cash is King, Rose Gold, and he is the new Cash in Hand champion. big fan of that concept of the champion. Had he not just won, we might have discussed him a little bit later because I'm a really big fan. Basically, they have a scramble match on every show for the cash in hand champion, the championship. If the cash in hand champion wins, he wins $500. If he loses the title, and the next guy starts. If you win 3 in a row, if you just successfully defend 3 months in a row, you can cash in your title and get an opportunity for the main champion. Very unique, but pick up some bucks and get a title shot if you can win 3 in a row.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. All-Star Special, Huck and Hansen defeated the Saturday Night Temptations. Want to point out a note. Everybody loves the jovial, fun All-Star Special, but there's been a little of a mean streak in Kraken with them right now, and I kind of warned somebody. I promise you, you don't want to see the bad sides of those two guys because we have seen them in other places, whether it be Anarchy, GCW, and Huck at a bunch of other places. I promise you don't want to see the bad side of Huck. The main event, it was a 5-on-5 elimination the left-hand path. I know you loved the name. You thought that was cool when we talked about him. Defeated the Business. It was specifically Trevor Aon, Eric Silva, and Austin Towers with the sweeper Jack Miles and DJ Lee. They defeated Dominic Stuckey, Lamar Diggs, Josh Breezy, Jazz, and Justin Case. Big, massive win. This thing's been brewing. It was finally kind of cool to see them get their just due and get their little payback there in a 5-on-5 match. The next show they have is coming up pretty soon. It's Aaron Black will take on Hita J. We're going to find out what happens to the Business. Can they survive the loss? Justin Case doesn't handle losses very well. And then, like I said earlier, make sure you keep an eye out. I'm not really sure what's going on with the All-Star Special. Hopefully they kind of come back and get their party side. I know the fans love to party and sing along with them. They're available on YouTube weekly. They tape their shows and then put them out like in weekly shows before leading into the next month. Their next show is December 14th. Now I'm going to jump into the TV taping a little bit because it's a little bit of a different thing. You guys, obviously, you're there. You're going on whatever. My rule with the thing is I don't really give any results for the TV taping for the obvious reasons. I don't want to spoil out what's going to happen on TV. But all I can say is it's very much an experience I wish more people would go to. I think it's a super fun show. It's in the middle of Georgia, basically. So if you're in South Georgia, you can come up. North Georgia, I mean, I'm on about as northern as you get. And it's about an hour and 20 minutes for, give or take, hour and a half, depending on traffic. I just kind of your thoughts, Jameson, first. I'll let you start. The TV tapings, why do people need to go check these out? Because they're so much fun to me.
Man, it's not because it is a TV taping, like if you see the pictures and the videos on the stories and Instagram, or if you watch the shows on Triller, your Peachtree Sports Network, like you'll see, like it is a legit like TV program. Like it looks like you're taping like Ring of Honor or something, like we have all the structures, the lights. He's got the screen. We got the screen elevated now. We got the tunnels. We got the ramps. We got all these trusses everywhere. It's got the, it looks like a legit real deal. It gives you that feel. The sound system is crazy. The production value there is crazy. You feel like you're walking into an actual arena, which is what it is, the Dalton Carpet 1 FW Arena. The shows are awesome. It's they're next level. So if you come to the live shows, those are always really good. Everybody gives them the best, but this is the best of the best. This is where you'll see the top talents, the Ring of Honor people, you'll get big names coming through sometimes for big matches. This is where you'll see like the biggest, craziest matches, like, for example, what happened this past Sunday that you'll have to tune in and check out and find out what happened and why it happened. But yeah, these shows are awesome. And I think it will get bigger as we keep going. And, they're getting smoother for us to run. So I think fans will start coming to those more often, hopefully. Plus, it's a Sunday, so there's not really a lot of traffic. It's pretty easy to get in and out,
Yeah. And it's right, like I said, it's real quick. I like the format this time. I think there was a lot to learn from the first time, all the adjustments that were made, and it kind of fit really well. And, look, again, not spoilers or whatever, look, you kind of had an impact there as well, Grillo.
Yeah, but besides going off of what Jameson said, like one of the biggest, like this TV taping specifically was a free taping. How could you pass up free? And
they've all been free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's even better. You don't even know who you're going to get, and you're going to get superstars, and you're not paying a dime to come see them. Jameson said we got the best setup, and he's not kidding. They work very hard to get all of that not only situated for TV, but situated enough so the fans can enjoy it as well. And you just never know who's going to come out of that curtain. Every show is a surprise, with these shows in particular.
The only thing I feel like we're missing is some fireworks,
Cartello Grillo needs the Christian fireworks. We need it to rain down from the ceiling.
I was figuring that was next, as everybody's gonna start asking for pyro, and stuff like that. And it's cool too. On top of that, like all of the One Fall shows, by the way, it's really cool too, because if you come early, there's a merch table set up. You get to meet guys, take the pictures, that kind of stuff. After the show, I know a lot of people. It's Sunday and they're trying to go, but the guys are still willing to come out a little bit afterwards and shake the hands and kiss the babies and and all that kind of stuff and kind of talk to everybody. So it's kind of cool, in my opinion. And so I highly recommend it. McDonough, Georgia. It's usually once a month, and again, it's a free show. Still, you still need to go to onefwlive.com and get your tickets and get them, but absolutely worth the price of admission without question. That's everything as far as looking back. So, of course, once we're done, we always kind of ask our question every single week. And that question, of course, is, who won the week? Now, I get it. We could be partial here. We're loaded up here on, so I kind of picked out who won the week this week. And I'm going to go with our guys down at Kraken Pro Wrestling. They're building something pretty cool down there. I don't know if you guys are, familiar with how Georgia was for a long time. South Georgia was a scorched earth territory. There were so many bad promotions that came through there. They literally burnt the towns. They literally killed them. When the guys that run Kraken decided to start running there, everybody told them, don't bother. You're never going to draw there. The territory's killed, on and on and on. And then, by the way, some of it was, hey, your guys it's getting guys down there because it's so far. It's not North Georgia, etc. Almost 200 people, 197 people show up on a Sunday at 4 p.m. to watch a show. And I kind of explained to somebody from where they started. We were, again, I am friends with some of the guys who run that show. And like their first show, it was like, I want to think it was like 50. And then just to watch the culture, the environment, they got people coming back over and over and over. They're involved in the community. They're partnered with, the local comic book store. They're caught with this business, that business, all the things. I think people don't understand what it takes. So it's not even about just starting a promotion. You are starting a promotion in a place where everybody was used to. Everybody's working for free. It's just it's a lot of it's bad wrestling, bad wrestlers, bad promoters, just everything you can think of. And they literally burnt the territory out to actually build to where now people are actually like, hey, we want to go see this. We're going to go see good storytelling. It's because they're doing it as well. They're building it for a weekly TV show on YouTube. They're trying to, make it a story-driven product. So, I'll let you start, Grillo. I mean, kudos to those guys for at least hanging in there. They've been there for, about a year and a half now, putting in the work, and it's kind of cool to start seeing some of the numbers pay off.
Yeah, and like you said, to get that many people in South Georgia, a place not notorious for doing well, and then do that on a Sunday, having one of their bigger shows, that's pretty impressive. Like, I know, obviously, the Falcons played earlier in the day. We had our show running, too. That's still a good amount of people. Like you said, they've been going strong for about a year and a half, and they have a good locker room. I've seen some of the matches and some of the shows. I know a lot of the guys who are on those shows. Like, they're definitely building something. And not to say, like, 2025 wasn't their year, but, I mean, next year, that's going to be huge for them. They've already hit the ground running. They've already built something. So now let's just see what they do next year and how they take it to the next level.
Yeah, I agree, man. What do you think, Jameson? You got anything to throw in there, man?
Yeah, I mean, 200 people anywhere, any day of the week is an awesome crowd. I think people don't really realize, like, when you're in a room, how many people, how 200 people feels. That's a big deal anytime. So that's awesome for them. And Kraken's great. I've been wanting to get down there. It's just tough. The schedule doesn't really allow it, but that is the show, if I was able to get to, that I would like to do.
And look, it's because you're so busy. That's the problem between TV and between One Fall running a ton of shows. And before we move on,
I am the man.
Yeah, look, you're in high demand. That's all there is to it. And then you're here on a week. It seems like you're almost here on a regular basis as well. But where you are on a pretty regular basis, I know we wanted to talk about this a little bit. We're still going to do the Making the Drive segment, folks. Don't worry on the Tapped Out show. Myron and I will talk about it. But since I had two people in the house, literally, that are going to be on these shows, Gainesville Friday, November the 14th, you guys will be there. Pretty stacked, loaded card, and I know, just wanted to look. I mean, I'm looking. Brady Booker and Tyler Shute versus Jack Jameson and Eli Drago. You referenced it earlier, but also Cartelo Grillo will be in the house as it's Grillo, KJ, and Esquire. Hayden's not going to be there. Just thoughts. We'll start with you, Grillo. Kind of thoughts on some of the card.
I mean, when you put those four guys in a match with Jack Jameson and Drago and Brady and Shute, I mean, that's the show seller right there. You're coming to see the four best that One Fall has to offer, besides Cartelo Grillo. How could you not want to come to that show? If that's the only match that's announced, that should do the numbers as it is. That's going to bring everyone in. Those are our top guys. So how could you not want to see all four of them, one shot, one match, while also seeing the rest of the great talent, mainly Cartelo Grillo, in Gainesville? And you never know who's going to show up there.
Yeah, I mean, this is me and Shute have had quite the rivalry over the last year, and then same goes for Elijah and Brady, and all four of us have interacted in one way or another. So, that match is going to have some heat. Undefeated Cartelo Grillo. Come on. They got to carry that over. They got to keep that going. I don't see them stopping anytime soon. You know what I mean? What a group. Bunch of men right there.
Oh,
Paisan.
Listen, I'm going to bring you another cannoli, all right? You're it.
Hey, that's all I'm going for,
Listen, don't break each other's arms, patting each other's on the back. Right?
We'll try.
Hey, and then if people haven't checked it out yet, there was another video came out today from Cartelo Grillo this morning. So go and check that out. Or if this is posted tomorrow. What is this? Whatever. But go to Instagram. There's been some good reels coming up lately on the One Fall Instagram. Everybody's been working real hard to try and get their character and personalities over. So we're going to start pushing a lot more of that on the social media. So go check all those out. Speaking of which,
bring that up, the social media that we do, or that One Fall does, is TV-esque. Not a lot of places will invest in doing backstage segments or backstage promos or all these vignettes for their characters. It's just, hey, you have 10 minutes on TV or in your match, make them know who you are, then that's it. You don't do anything backstage. Every show, One Fall has a cameraman backstage always recording, or then we have guys who, they're trying every week to get their character over, and One Fall gives you that avenue with just how much they're always consistently posting on social media.
Yeah, we implemented a new rule. It's the office rule, the paper doc rule. We're always filming backstage, so you can always catch all the action back there. You can see all the drama. That's where most of the personal feuds happen. So there's always going to be somebody filming backstage from now on. So you'll always get whatever happens back there. Which there will be another match announced later today. So I can just say it now because it'll be up before this is posted. It'll be Parker Lee versus JD Inc., which stems from another incident you can see from a social media reel on Instagram. The newly formed Fantasy, Pro Wrestling's hottest fantasy, and One Fall Wrestling's newest tag team, Pretty Parker and Sexy Sebastian. Fantasy. They had a little backstage bit with JD Inc. and Christian Taylor, another tag team at One Fall. Christian threw his tearaway pants and hit. Well, go check out the video. Actually, go watch it yourselves. But you'll see they had a match which led to the debut match of Fantasy. Parker squirted oil in the eyes of JD Inc. and then they double stacked them illegally to roll them up and steal a win from them. So JD Inc. has issued a challenge to Parker Lee this Friday night, since neither of the tag team partners will be there, and we'll see what happens.
Both of those teams, obviously I think there's a lot of potential. Both young teams, I think there's a huge future for both of them. So make sure you're following them out. Also, by the way, we've already got a couple other things that have been announced at this point, I'm assuming.
One other surprise. A huge return, in my opinion, one of my favorite teams in all of professional wrestling, the Superstars, baby! Nicky Boy is coming home. this Friday, there will be a trios match. The superstars, Nikki, Tommy, and Jimmy, all three back together in a ring. Finally, Nikki Boy is back, and it's going down. Superstars and trios action this Friday in Gainesville. Baby!
Oh, that warms my heart. That warms my pizza. That brings. I'm so happy.
Yeah, kudos to Nikki, man. We were, we all had him in our thoughts for a long time. It's cool to see him finally back into the ring. So I'm not going to give away everything else then, because I didn't even know that match was happening, obviously. But another debut, if you will. I don't know if it's public knowledge at this point, if you want to put it out there. Big, triple threat: Shoot Taylor, Trevor Blackwell, Kieran Gray, and then of course, everybody's favorite spicy quesadilla, Angelica Risk is in a three-way match. We're going to discuss her shortly and on another topic I wanted to bring up. But that is literally by all of that was just Friday. We're not even discussing the fact that you guys are running back in Watkinsville again on Monday the 17th, that you'll be running there as well. And there's not a ton, obviously, because here's the way. Somebody's like, why is there not a big card put out? Well, we got to see what the fallout is Friday, and then we'll see what happens on Monday, right? So that's right. Why there's not a lot.
And then there's also the Athens show on Thursday following that. So there's going to be, and I can promise you, with one fall, there's always going to be follow-up when you have those shows so close together. So there will be some posts coming out soon. You'll see there will be graphics and match announcements and storyline carryovers and whatnot. So just have some patience.
Well, I tell everybody I know I say it about most promotions. You got to follow them on social media. Mm-hmm. One Fall Wrestling, you have to follow them on social media, because there are a lot of promotions that we're promoting one show for next month, and that's it. They are promoting 5-6 shows at a time, it feels like, so you got to stay on top of it as the posters are dropping.
On top of the backstage reels now, on top of the Tony interviews that we do, we have 3 to 4 posts a day on social media almost every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, now I want to ask you guys, because I know you're both familiar with one individual I want to ask you about. We don't talk a lot about as far as like national companies, but I always say that the WWID program in general is, to me, is more of an independent, topic versus just a national topic. We know some guys, obviously, that have been WID that you've come through the gates. Mike Cunningham, obviously, a couple weeks ago was ID'd as well, so he was on Evolve. But specifically, a social media post caught my eye and caught my attention. We knew Kylie Ray kind of, she's pregnant. She had to go away. She had to vacate her title, the women's WWI championship. And they kind of announced this match was coming up. I believe it's on November the 17th, I believe is what it is, I believe.
It's this coming Monday.
Yeah, so 17th. Yeah. They announced a 6-way match to crown the new WWID Women's Champion. And, by the way, that person would be ID'd as well. So it's kind of a double gift if you win. And I'm sitting there reading the list, and here's what I read. I go, it's Caitlin Marie, Lily Ruiz, Nixie XS, Lainey Luck, Jordan Blade. And then I go, Angelica Risk? Like, wait a minute. How did I miss this? Like, how did this fall through the cracks? I'm like, I literally talked to her on Sunday, and I was like, no time. I'm not sure how it happened, but what an opportunity for somebody that you guys share a locker room on a regular, that you're at, the One Fall shows. I'm just curious, obviously with the Cunningham thing, with her potential here, like what is that, what opportunities, how much of a talk is that kind of in the locker rooms?
That's, I don't think anybody did that. It's something that came together pretty last minute for her, thankfully. She's in a qualifying match the same night as that title match, so she has to beat 5 other women to start the night in a one fist, just a one fall. She just has to beat one person in that match, and then she goes on. Then she qualifies to go on to the title match, which is another 6-woman match, but that one is an elimination match, and the 5 competitors are already announced. So the 6th person in that match would be the winner of the qualifying match, which is what Angelica Risk is in. But doesn't matter. The spicy quesadilla, the spicy one, she's gonna whoop them all day long like she does. She's gonna bring those chops. She's gonna bring that heat. She's gonna light those girls up. She's gonna go on to that main event title match for the women's WWE ID championship. She'll get that contract because she's the best. She's my favorite wrestler personally. So shout out Angelica Risk. I think she's gonna go up there and crush it.
Yeah, before you, here's the thing. There were, I'm not going to give out any names. I was at the taping on Sunday. There was a match that she was involved in. I'll, again, try to leave out results, etc. But after the show, there was somebody that's a pretty, they've got a little, they've got a little clout in the wrestling world. And I heard a conversation, and it was like, hey, what was your favorite match? And it was like, oh, it's clearly the women's match. And they were like, they just love to hit each other so hard. And I was kind of just chuckling to the side, and I kind of made it a point to drift over and let those women know, hey, I'm hearing like this was clearly what a lot of people's favorite match of the night. And
I feel like I know who you're talking about. If it was, I know for a fact somebody else, Conrad Thompson, has put Angelica Risk over several times on his podcast. Now he's a big fan of Risk.
Yeah, it was a conversation that he was involved in. Let's leave it at that. So it's kind of cool to see that. And we talk about this on a regular basis when it comes to, with all due respect to the other promotions, when it comes to the women's divisions, the best women's division in Georgia is One Fall Wrestling. I mean, they're so deep, and they've got a lot of super talent at the top, as well as just the depth is way, most other promotions, they got a champion, and then there's like hey, let's just revolving, bring somebody else from somewhere else. And a lot of times it's from Florida or Carolina. It's just they're bringing in somebody. But the One Fall women's division is just, it's really, really loaded top to bottom, in our opinion. And I think it's hands down the best. Would you agree, Grillo?
No, I agree. I didn't even know Angelica was in this match, but now I do. I'm going to have to call a couple sports books and place a couple heavy wagers on her. She's not just one of the best. She's been one of the best for a while. She was in camp too, so I've seen her since the very beginning, and there hasn't been a match or a day where she hasn't gotten better. So for one, it's great that she's getting this opportunity because she deserves all the recognition. But damn, I could buy a new house off of those winnings if she wins and the bet comes in right. So I might have to cut me a couple calls.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, check it out. I mean, her specifically, give her a follow on social media because, like you said, there are a lot of people who know wrestling that are talking about her across the board. And I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about, like, other people that are, like, really, got the, they got the weight and they got some power around Georgia, around the country for that matter, and they know wrestling. And so it's always cool to see somebody like that getting their flowers. Look, before we get into the Power 5, this week we're going to discuss a little bit about the secondary champions again, across the Georgia. We kind of do this on a regular basis, but sometimes it's the promotions, sometimes it's the promotional champions, it's tag teams, et cetera, et cetera. I want to get into the secondary champions and give them a little love as well. But before we do that, we got a little quick word that we want to get in from our sponsor this week, Video Bolt. This episode of the Tapped Out Podcast is brought to you by our new partners at Video Bolt. They're a video technology company that's been around redefining content creation since 2009. Whether you're a podcaster, promoter, small business, media outlet, Video Bolt makes it easy to create professional, high-quality videos fast without a crazy price tag to go with it. They've powered projects like, from big names like Duncan, Hearst, Comcast, but their platform is built for creators just like us, so you can look just as sharp as those guys. So if you want your videos to stand out, head over to videobolt.net/tappedoutpod and use our promo code tappedoutpod to get starting today. That's videobolt.net/tappedoutpod because your videos should hit just as hard as your message. If you're not familiar with our friends over at Video Bolt, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, all these cool little intros and all that kind of stuff, that's who I use to build those intros. So a lot of people ask me when they're starting podcasts or etc. I'm like, hey, we all know a guy, Dylan, who can do some magic with some video stuff. That's not me. I am not a graphics guy. They make it so easy to, with the tools that they have, it's templates and adding an image and adding text or whatever, and it makes that magic happen. I literally made the intro to this week's episode 10 minutes before we recorded. And, and had it so it's got the correct names on it. So, again, videobolt.net/tappedoutpod, or if you go to their website and it asks for a promo code, tappedoutpod. Shocking that's how simple I'm going to make it when we're in our partnership with each other. let's jump into this, month. It is the Power 5, and like I said, we're going to discuss some of the secondary champions. It's not your main promotional champion, so when people are listening and watching, etc. And let's start with, listen, quite arguably, I'll let you guys plead your case here. I know the top two are pretty neck and neck, but my number one, because he would kill me if I didn't say otherwise, my number one is the One Fall Wrestling breakout champion, Vario Morales. Had a
El Campeon.
He had a great match at the taping, as you can probably imagine. And make sure you're again watching it on a weekly basis. It'll be there soon enough. But Jameson, I'll let you start. I know you're a fan of Vario Morales yourself. You said so personally somewhere in the past. You told me something about that. But what are your thoughts? Why does he fit in the Power 5 when it comes to as far as Vario Morales?
He doesn't fit in the Power 5. He's numero uno with an exclamation point. El Campeon. Vario's the best, man. He's the best wrestler in Georgia. He's one of the best wrestlers in the country. One of the best wrestlers in the world. He's going around right now. He's on his nationwide tour right now, I like to call it. He's hitting the roads, hitting the states, the cities. He's getting around, making his name out there. He's bringing the One Fall title with him. He's picking up other titles as he goes. He's the best. If you've ever seen Vario in the ring, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't, then you need to go check out one of his matches immediately.
Thoughts, Grillo, real quick?
Yeah, he can go with literally anyone. I've seen it. I've seen him wrestle anyone and everyone, and each and every time, it's probably the best match or the better match on the show. Like Jameson said, he's incredibly talented. He's starting to go out and make more of a name for himself. Not that he didn't have one already, but just making that name bigger. But that title would look pretty cool in El Cartel Grillo. I'm just saying.
Listen,
it would look cool in the Fat House too, if you want to go there. I mean,
yeah, of course. Yeah, it would look cool in either fact. It could look great around your shoulder or waist, look great around my shoulder or waist. I'm just saying.
If you want to split it, we'll go back and forth. We'll share it. You have it for a week. I'll take it for a week.
Listen, let's be fair. That is to be in the position he's in comes with the responsibility of you understand that there are guys at your guys' level and all these other guys that have come at him. It just seems because he seems like he's defending that title once or twice a weekend, or when you guys are running shows, and he knows that. It's one of those, if you're considering the best are going to keep coming at you, right, to take that off of your shoulder. So that's part of the equation. One of the things I love, many of the things I love about Vario Morales is I've always said, you want to go in there and wrestle, dude can wrestle. You want to go in there and brawl, I've seen him brawl. I've seen him do some crazy stuff in fights.
And as good as that he is at wrestling, I think he prefers to brawl.
That he does. Yes, he does. But also, as we saw, Sunday, hey, you want to go in there and do a little lucha? I can do that as well. I don't know. There's a style you could ask, that we're going to put you in this match with this person, and he's probably like, okay. And he's confident. I'm going to pull this off.
That's literally his response when you tell him what his match is. Okay.
So, sitting at the top of the pecking order, One Fall Wrestling breakout champion, Vario Morales. Now I'm going to go to you, Grillo, because I know you're partial to this guy, because he holds 2 titles, secondary titles across Georgia. Southern Fried Classics champion, the Viral Pro Outbreak champion, Hunter James. That's your guy, right?
Yeah, of course. And like you had mentioned earlier, Hunter had a very tough match at the last Southern Fried show against Mr. Buchanan, but we were able to keep the title within the Crusade. We had a little bit of outside help. I was just trying to help Hunter. That's another story for another day. I was just trying to keep the gold. But Hunter, so we've talked about this before. The secondary title is forever known as the workhorse title. And it makes sense that Hunter has 2 of these because he is one of the biggest workhorses here in Georgia. I've known him for a long time. He's one of, if not the best wrestler in Georgia. And he was heavyweight champion at What's at Southern Fried. Maybe we can get him back to it. But he's held that title. He's the longest reigning Classics champion in Southern Fried history, I believe, after his defense a couple weeks ago. And he's also the champion, the secondary champion over at Viral Pro. Hunter's best. I can't say enough good things about him. If I had more time, I'd probably talk about him for another hour.
Listen, if you don't believe he's great, ask him. He'll tell you as well, by the way. He'll tell you how great he is. So, look, he's young, got a bright future. hopefully, I kind of say this with respect to you, Grillo. Hopefully, he kind of straightens his head out and kind of just wrestles and becomes one of the best wrestlers.
Oh.
Whoa!
What do you mean? He gets heads
The
up.
hell?
He's a champion. He's leading the crusade. We kicked out that trash Dom.
Taking shots at Grillo over here?
Yeah, what am I doing?
I'm not taking it at Grillo. I'm taking it at Hunter. Hunter's this
You're just
year.
taking it at me.
Listen, there aren't many wrestlers that I will sit there and say Hunter James is.
I don't know. You said no offense. That sounds like something you take offense to.
Hunter James is a prick, and I'm not saying no offense to him. I mean, he knows that.
Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I've said that to him, and it's pretty bad when his family members come up and go, "Yeah, you're right." So that tells you everything you need to know. But Hunter James, two titles, of course, obviously going to belong on that list just for that reason. Liberty champion down at WrestleMerica, Bryce Cannon. I was worried about this list because as we were compiling the list, he had a match over the weekend where he was literally in a 4-way with one title's on the line and one fall, one's on the other. Is he going to be able to, but he did successfully defend that show. So, obviously I will put that guy right up there. You're Mr. 25. He was he was tied with number 1, when that list came out, tied with Carly Bravo at number 1.
I think I was 26.
Yeah, I heard you were 26.
Yeah. I must have.
They said you didn't wrestle. They must have said you didn't wrestle enough matches in Georgia to qualify or something like that. I don't know. That's what.
Yeah. Only 3 a week.
Yeah. So that must be anyway. Bryce Cannon, obviously, he fills in on the show here as well. He's one of the guest hosts. We're big fans of his. And look, it was a crazy year for him because remember he came back from a massive injury where he missed a lot of 2024. I mean, most of 2020. It was almost all of it, to be honest with you. For him to come back and make the impact, and he's picked up the Jake the Snake Legacy title along the way. He was the Liberty champion. He's picked up a few belts along the way. He was the Lariato champion, as well. So great year for Bryce. Cool to see him sitting there. That's why he's always going to be when we do these kind of a list. And plus WrestleMerica is one of the longest running companies around. And, so there's some heritage and stuff like that to those titles. So, Bryce Cannon's got to make the list, in my opinion. Let's do the last couple real quick. Feel free to jump in at some point because I'm not real sure how familiar you are with the Coastal Chaos Championship down at Coastal Empire Wrestling. Hakeem Young's pretty much had a lock on that title for a while now. Another young dude. Hey, he was one of those award winners from last year as well. But he's been just absolutely crushing it down there at Coastal Empire. Coastal Empire, again, great storytelling promotion. Those guys have done a really good job. Are you guys familiar, either one of you, with Hakeem Young at all? I mean, I'm not real sure how.
I've seen a few matches. I've seen his stuff every now and then. Not so much from Coastal. Honestly, that's on me. I need to get back more into keeping tabs on everybody. Maybe I can delegate that to Cartello. Like, keep tabs on him, keep tabs on him. I do know he's a very talented wrestler, and like you said, Coastal is fun, and they do have a lot of good things going on down there. I've gotten to go down there once. I really love their storytelling. Their crowd is awesome. Where they do the show is pretty cool. It's not the biggest place, but they pack it.
Yeah. Jamie, because I know we've had conversations about Coastal Empire. They run in an American Legion, but it's an older one with an actual old wooden roof. So the acoustics bounce off of it. So even when there's 100, because I think they peak at 125, the building won't hold anymore. It literally just sounds tremendously loud just because of the way it echoes off it. It always reminds me
of
that's go ahead. You're gonna pick the arena that I'm talking about.
I'm gonna say what you're about to say. Yeah, this Friday, Gainesville is American Legion, and it's got the similar effect. It's about 100, 125 people, and it sounds like it's about 300 people in there.
Yep, 100%. You knew where I was going. I agree. And the irony, by the way, the two men on this list, RIPW, they're running their Battle of Atlanta tournament. There's your finalist, Bryce Cannon versus Hakeem Young. So next month, or when they run that finals, it's going to be cool to see those two guys. Grillo, I hate to bring this up, but TV champion over at BullPen Pro Wrestling, JT Paradox rounds off the list. I know you're familiar with the young man, as you had a run-in with him here recently.
Yeah, for some reason, he thought it was a good idea to stick his nails in Crusade business, and I don't know why he thought that, because now he's been taught a lesson twice. I faced him a couple weeks ago at Southern Fried, came out of there with a win, of course, but I will say He is very talented. He is very young, so he still has a ways to go. I haven't been able to walk properly since he gave me those Germans. He's a very strong kid. I would definitely keep tabs on him. He's up and coming. I think he's done a one fall show maybe once. I think he was in that Battle Royal.
Yeah, he came with Zach.
Yeah.
He's another one, big, thick boy. Maybe try to give him a cannoli. That might get him off your back.
Maybe. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. Maybe
Strong boy.
Very much. But yeah, I keep an eye out for him. I did hear his match this past weekend was very good. He may have sent it to me to watch. I will have to watch it at some point, but I heard it was very good.
He's a fire hydrant. Isn't that what you call that? Because, you're a gym guy, Jameson. He's like a fire hydrant when you see him. Yeah. So.
Yep, sure is. But that's great, man. That's pro wrestling right there. That's a wrestler build.
Oh yeah.
And he is. He's a former, amateur wrestler, Shock, and he's built just like one. So, that kind of rounds out, excuse me, our Power 5 on the secondary champions. And by the way, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you guys, I mean, obviously everybody aware they catch you on Ring of Honor, AEW, you're on TV all over the place with those guys. It's a big week. And we can't talk about it. It's kind of our schedules are really wonky. The Tapped Out show's the national show, but we record, it comes out after. So if we can't talk about Dynamite, it's hard to do because we're always talking like a week behind. It's a weird by the time the show drops. So I wanted to ask you guys, because this thing's going to drop beforehand. It's one of the big shows in my opinion. I know it's a huge staple there at AEW. They're going to do Blood and Guts actually on Dynamite. So it's a whole different twist. The women's Blood and Guts. It's the first ever women's, correct? It's the first ever women's Blood and Guts match.
Yep.
It's pretty stacked. Marina Shafir, Megan Bain, Mercedes Moné, and the Triangle of Madness take on Harley Cameron, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, Mina Shirakawa, Toni Storm, and Willow Nightingale. And listen, it's not hard to guess who your pick is, right, Jameson? When the women's
CEO, that's my chair, baby. Ultimo, greatest women's wrestler of all time, Mercedes. Shout out. Hey, boys, come on, bring us back, please.
You got to hold those now, because I think she's picked up, since we had a conversation about it, I think she's picked up another one. I think she's up to 13 or 14 now.
Just stacking them. I'd like to see her get to 20.
You guys would need more people in the frat house if she gets up to 20.
We got Bernard now.
That's true. Yeah, you can hang a lot.
The business bear, We were gifted Bernard the business bear. He's been quite the help to us lately, so he can help carry some of those.
The real quick question I want to ask you about this women's match. I mean, the men's, listen, they've been around for a while, and they're pretty brutal. You think the women are going to deliver that level of brutality in theirs as well?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
For sure. And these women hate each other. They've been fighting for the last 6 months on TV, all of them. They've just been going at it nonstop. They've been doing those multi-women matches. They've had several hardcore matches, I believe. They're ready. They're ready for this.
So
they've quite literally been training for it.
Yeah, they've been. It's prep getting up. As far as the matches leading up to it. Also, the men's Blood and Guts is going to happen. Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Cassidy taking on the Death Riders. Death Riders have been a thing. They've been a thorn in everybody's side for a long time. On a sidebar and a tangent that we like to take here from time to time, Darby Allin's thorn in a lot of people's sides, right?
He's a thorn in my side.
Give the backstory, man. Everybody's gonna ask.
Listen, Trick Treat or Defeat, the Halloween show, the Trunk or Treat in Henry County. We're trying to have a nice show. I'm getting ready to leave. I won my match. I got my boots off. I got my jacket on. It's freezing, and I hear Darby Allin go out there and announce that he's building a skate park in Henry County. Listen, it got me upset. It got me hot. I went out there. I had to shut it down. I don't want a bunch of these little skate nerds running around McDonough taking up the streets while I'm trying to drive. I'm not dealing with that. We need another gym here is what we need. No more candy on trick or treat and Halloween. You get a dumbbell. That's what you get moving forward. And no, what does he do? He hits me from behind with his skateboard. Then he hits me with a coffin drop from the top rope. And then a stupid cameraman kicks me in the face a bunch of times for no reason. It's ridiculous. That's what you got to get with these skate parks. That's what happens. So no, Blood and Guts. I hope John Moxley rips Darby Allin's blood and guts straight out of his stomach. That's what I want.
We clearly see who he's riding with, and that is obviously the Death Riders. And
Right.
here's the thing. I'm going to say controversial. I don't talk about this controversy, whatever, but I kind of made a comment the other day. If you're a War Games fan, this is actually War Games, folks. I'm not taking a shot at the other side, but this is the original War Games. It's two rings, cage, top, no pinfall, no submission. It's submit or surrender. And there's just blood, guts, and gore. I mean, that was what the War Games was built on, in my opinion. So if you're a fan of an old JCP, the old Crockett promotions, this is what you are expecting when you see a War Games match. So check it out on Wednesday night. By the way, there is a non-title Falls Count Anywhere match. Hangman Adam Page and Powerhouse Hobbs, they're going to be on the show as well. And there's probably going to be more if time allotment goes. It's smart to kind of put this out there because look, those matches could last forever. I mean, we've
that's
back
a
in the
pay-per-view.
day. Yeah, that
that could be the whole show.
It's a free pay-per-view on Wednesday night. That's basically how it should be built because this is AEW's top stars, and you still get our world champion. So you're getting two high-quality main event pay-per-view matches with a main event non-title match, and it's a Falls Count Anywhere match,
and it's on TV.
Yeah, for free. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. You can stream it on HBO. You can watch it on TV. You could.
TBS,
or you can be there.
Out there. You gotta get the name brands,
Is it HBO Max now?
No,
HBO Max, TBS. You gotta say the names of the places. They get mad if you don't, Turner.
True.
There you go. So TBS, HBO Max. Check it out Wednesday, 8 p.m. Obviously, this show drops at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, so we wanted to make sure we got that in there because I think it's a huge. Like I said, you brought it up. It's free. It's on TV. It's on your if you're a Mac streamer, it's there as well. I have both, so I'm like, I can catch you.
This is Darby Allin. This is John Martin.
I'm with him. I'm with Jameson. I don't want more traffic in this area as it is. There's so much as it
That's
is.
right.
I don't need these
That's right. Keep skate parks out of Henry County.
Boom.
Well, they're trying to keep you out of skate parks, and we're trying to get you into Patreon. Patreon.com/tappedoutpod. Make sure you're signing up. Look, I went through the laundry list of all that stuff earlier. I'm not going to repeat it all down the road. Just sign up. Do the $25 level because guess what? I promise you, man, you're not the 8.5 by 11 is worth $25 alone. All the extra perks along the way with all of the changes, with all that are coming up here in the next couple months. I promise you, you're going to want to be a Patreon member. Even at the dollar level, I'll throw it out there. Even at the dollar level, you're going to want to be a man. Because as I'm sitting here looking, at the show notes, it's like, I don't know, it's 13 pages long, that I'm staring at on the screen. You get all of that as part of you being just a dollar member, But again, would you guys agree? The $25 level, it's just do that. Get the 8.5 by 11 every single month, and then you get all the other stuff essentially for free, right? That's the values at.
Yeah, you're gonna go to shows and you're gonna spend that $25 on just the picture, So might as well get the whole Patreon experience out of it.
And you spend more on stupid things a month. You might as well spend money on something that's good and gives you a nice return with it as well.
And by the way, it's an 8.5 by 11 that you don't get anywhere else. It's not going to be on a merch table. It's not going to be anywhere. It's just available only through Patreon.
Exclusive. And wrestling fans love exclusive. Gimme.
Yeah, when I tell them, like, hey, there's maybe 20 or less that exist, like, that's it. They're like, really? And I'm like, the laundry list of guys we've done, Jeff Jarrett, we've done QT Marshall, we've done Jay Lethal, we've done, on and on and on. There's been a laundry. Last month for Halloween, we did the MLW champion Cruel. I mean, again, I know for a fact. Yeah, so we appreciate, you guys supporting us, whether it's on here, whether it's, on the Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast platforms. We greatly appreciate that, but not as much. Hey, as I say, hey, I appreciate you guys taking your time. I know you're busy. You got a plane to catch. You've always got somewhere to be. You're always booked, and but I appreciate you guys coming by.
No, yeah, man, it's always a blast coming on. 3-man booth was fun. Not too bad.
Listen, I thought you guys did great. I think we pulled it off. We'll only get better, as we always say. I always tell everybody in life, tomorrow when you wake up, try to be better than you were today. We promise you we'll try to be better next week as well. Again, we appreciate you guys supporting us. But, man, we always tell you, if you want to support us, / you want to support indie wrestling, get in your car, buy your tickets, go down to the show, and I promise you, I know these guys, if you're anywhere in Georgia, the odds are you're going to see me or them at the matches.